Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby 83 with another Mr. Hornsby 83 video. This time it's the topic about the Marvel animes. I was just going to do the X-Men one and the Wolverine one, but I figure I'll talk about all four of them. And I'll talk about this one. I had the Wolverine one somewhere. I don't know where it is. Last time I seen it, my son had it. So I'm going to start out with the Iron Man one that was probably the most popular out of them all. Although, yeah, I liked the Iron Man one, but the problem was I really didn't think it was better than the other ones because I also watched the Blade one, the Wolverine one, and the X-Men one. And really, yeah, it was good to see an adult Tony Stark because at that time they were doing the Iron Man Armored Avengers, which was freaking lame. So, I don't know what Marvel's plan was doing these animes, but I want to talk about some of the problems I had with them. And one of them was, yes, I know it's supposed to be anime, but when you got anime like Dragon Ball Z where people look normal, and they all always look like creatures no matter what, and you got other animes out there where normal looking people, why was it that all four of these animes had things looking too anime-ish? Which I don't have a problem with. I mean, just like with the Street Fighter 2, the best freaking Street Fighter freaking anime. I do not care for the freaking other one, the Alpha ones. They both sucked. The only good thing about the second one is you got Akuma in that one. But they were just too anime-ish, especially in the X-Men cartoon when they go over to Japan and you see these freaking, I guess they were supposed to be members of the Inner Circle, aka the Hellfire Club. I didn't like how they looked. I know, yeah, the Hellfire Club, they're mutants, but the Hellfire Club is a group of mutants that kind of look normal somewhat. I mean, heck, even in the X-Men First Class, they were looking pretty good. Even Azazel was looking normal in the freaking movie. So, I don't know what the deal with that is. I mean, I think the plan was to do more of them because watching the Japanese versions, and I don't know if the American versions did it, I don't think they did, but watching the Japanese versions of these, it kind of looked like they were leaving a cliffhanger to do more episodes of it. But like with the Blade one, I think he was supposed to get into more battles with other vampires, especially like I think eventually Dracula probably, and give a proper Dracula storyline to Dracula because we all know how Blade Trinity played out. Speaking of Blade Trinity, that's what I'm watching right now, waiting for Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5 to come on, but and then, you know, even the Iron Man one kind of left off a cliffhanger. And not only that, but the opening credits. I know I was supposed to be talking about problems. I'm talking about a bunch of other stuff, but oh well. But the opening credits really showed that there might be more to these animes, especially this X-Men one, than we got. The Wolverine one, and when you see the opening credits, Wolverine is fighting all over Japan, and then next thing you know, he's fighting against Sabretooth in one of the opening credits. Or no, it might have been the end credit, whatever it was, but we didn't get a season 2 of that. And honestly, I think probably the Wolverine one was probably the most normal looking out of this anime stories that really looked like it was actually in America, and it wasn't, you know, I didn't like the voice actor, I didn't like the look of Wolverine in that Wolverine movie, but my wife's doing stuff. That's what you're hearing in the background. But yeah, the anime really, honestly, was my favorite out of the bunch. The Iron Man one, I'll admit, that kind of looked normal too, but there were still some things that they had on there that were anime-ish. I know anime is supposed to be anime for a reason, but when you're doing these American properties like you did with Street Fighter, do it the way you did it with Street Fighter. One of the problems is, in all of them, the storylines. And like I just mentioned with the Wolverine one, looking how Wolverine looked, the voice actor just completely sucked. At least this got it right when you got Steve Blum playing freaking Wolverine. I mean, that guy's pretty much become the voice of Wolverine. Right now, he ain't been able to do nothing from Wolverine because they've, if Hugh Jackman is the face of Wolverine, then Steve Blum is the freaking voice of Wolverine. I don't know how long he's been playing him, but I know playing Wolverine in the X-Men, played him in the games and all that. I don't know if he played him in the old cartoon because I know a couple different people left and went to voice act elsewhere with, but I think Cedric something and some other guy, I forgot his name. We're doing Wolverine mostly on that one. I think it was Cedric Smith and I can't think of the other guy. But yeah, that's, the storylines was bad. Like, my biggest flaw was they looked too anime-ish. Yeah, I know they were supposed to because I know they're anime, but when you sit there and you don't freaking, when you get something like Street Fighter, Akira, and all the greatest animes where it still looks like a normal world, that's what I wanted with these animes, but we didn't get that. So, like I said, I think Wolverine was the only one that had the normal things in it. Everything else didn't. Another flaw is the timing they were put on and the channel they were put on, which was G4. And the timing G4 used to put them on, I think, was way too late. Had they put them on earlier, I think they would have got better ratings, and I'm sure people would have clamored for them more, but it might be a lot of other people's problems too, is the freaking way it looked way too anime-ish. I know comic book fans probably didn't take too well to that, but I mean, come on now. But now I'm going to talk about some things. Like I said, there was some cliffhangers at the end of all the shows, like in credits you see the Brotherhood and all that with the X-Men. In credits you see Wolverine fighting Sabretooth, I think fighting Lady Deathstrike, I think. At least we did get Omega Red in the Wolverine cartoon, or the Wolverine anime. And the Iron Man one, I don't know how their cliffhanger was, but I know it was kind of weird. And the Blade one, his cliffhanger, I forgot that cliffhanger too, but I know there was a cliffhanger at the end of all four of them. But I really remember the cliffhanger left at the freaking X-Men one, where you see possibly the Brotherhood. There's also a point as you get in episode 12 where I guess Xavier's being contacted by Magneto or whatnot. And I would have loved to seen, had they made it more Americanized, and like I said, yeah, I know it's anime. Had they made it a little bit more Americanized, I would have loved to seen characters like Magneto, Sinister, Apocalypse, Sentinels, and everything in anime form on these shows. I think it would have been great visuals. I think things would have really went well. Which, that's another big flaw with it. The visuals weren't too good. And I just, hopefully, somewhere down the line, we get a new X-Men animation. Because, yeah, I know we got the movie for that now, but yeah, who knows? I know there might be a Netflix series, so I don't know. Let's see, what else can I talk about? I'll tell you something I definitely would have looked forward to seeing. Especially in anime form, especially after the way they made him look in Wolverine and the X-Men, is Mr. Sinister, because he looked freaking like crap in that Wolverine and the X-Men. I just did not like the Wolverine and the X-Men. I mean, maybe we can get an animated series that's more like anime, like, the 90s one. And you could kind of use the Ultimate X-Men comics, not use the comics because them got silly after a while, but use the costumes, use, Steve Blum to play Wolverine. Don't make him look emo, because that's one thing. Wolverine the X-Men and the X-Men anime here I mean, some of the characters still look super skinny. Yeah, Wolverine looks super muscular. Cyclops looked like way too skinny this time. I know it was probably more, but you know, I'm always used to seeing Cyclops because, like I said, I started seeing the cartoons. I'm used to seeing Cyclops kind of more muscular, but also I think that'd be nice. One thing though that was odd at the end of this one, Wolverine and Beast are captured by one Hellfire Club members. And I guess they thought it was Dragon Ball Z because somehow or another, Wolverine went super Saiyan on the freaking thing and just like, I'm like, what? Wolverine went Super Saiyan? Oh man, I thought this was X-Men, not Dragon Ball Z, or Super, or GT, or Dragon Ball. But yeah. Well, I guess I'll wrap this up. I kind of mumbled on a little bit of a couple things, but tomorrow, non-spoiler review of X-Men Apocalypse. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, especially with what I've kind of found out about the end credit scene. I definitely want to see that. Spoiler review I will probably do Saturday. Also going to probably chime in with the Turtles movie coming up as well next week. I'll probably do some Turtle related videos, talking about the current show, talking about, you know, probably the old 80s and 90s, because I've watched all three iterations. I grew up watching the 80s and 90s ones. I mean, all four, because if you count that freaking, oh god, Next Mutation. I'm also going to try to get the freaking Turtles Mutants of Manhattan game. That game looks really awesome. I've been, you know, I mean, yeah, I think it'll be good. It's kind of got that style that X-Men Legends had, which I really love those games. But that'll do it for this video. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. Let me know what you thought of the Marvel animes. Let me know what you thought on how they were handled. Would you have liked to see them come back? Will you still like to see them come back? Could you beg Madhouse? Because I would love to beg Madhouse to get these back. I would love to see Sinister in it. Follow me on my Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornsby 83 Topics. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Hornsby 83. And until my non-spoiler review tomorrow night, peace out.